Welcome to Friday Philosophy. I'm Dr. Dan Lyons, coming to you here from my home in lovely Green Bay, Wisconsin, and today I want to talk to you about gratitude. Um, the attitude of gratitude, or just being grateful, is something that we overlook so much today. There's so many people that are running around, they're just freaked out about everything that's going on, or they're just so busy working all the time, and they never take a moment to just sit back and relax and take a breath and be thankful. And it's something that I know I got to experience a little bit of that uh, over the past couple months, um, with less speaking to do, at least speaking, so much less travel. I got to spend a lot more time at home with my family, which I'm very grateful for. And I had a lot of patients that have been expressing the same thing too, where they were happy that they were able to just sit back and relax and enjoy. And so I just have a list of things here to talk to you about what I am grateful for and hopefully inspire you, and then a few questions at the end. Hey Bets, see you. Thanks for stopping in. I'm grateful for being here, that I was born, that I was counted worthy by God to be here. And I'm grateful for my parents and my family, and to be alive. And today, that means one thing to a lot of people, but to me, the big challenge was when I neck 30 years ago in 5 spots and crushed my spinal cord, completely dislocated a segment, and I saw both said that I should have died on impact, but I didn't, because I was what, 20, 22 years old, 21, 22 years old. I was, much taller than I am now, thanks to the accident. But I was much stronger. I lived in the gym, basically. And I had the resiliency. I was resilient. I was not vulnerable, and it was not able to take my life. And I'm grateful that I recovered and able to be a healthy and happy, productive member of society. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my body, and not just my body, everybody's body, that we all have a skull. That thick, heavy chunk of bone up there that is literally a vault that encapsulates the most important part of our bodies, our brain, because without our brain, nothing works. I mean, you can get a lung transplant, a liver transplant, heart transplant. We can, if you're not breathing it again, if your heart's not beating, we can get your heart beating again. Once your brain stops working, it doesn't happen. As far as I know, no one comes back from that. I've never seen a peer-reviewed study. I'm grateful that I have a spinal cord and nerves that connect my brain to every single cell, organ, tissue in my body, and run it, so that I don't have to think about all those things, because all the processes of digesting food and then absorbing it and incorporating it into my body, I wouldn't last very long, maybe a millisecond. And then I'd die, because if I could think about that, because I'm not thinking about pumping blood or filtering blood or breathing, all that stuff goes on. It's automatically. And that we were given a spinal cord that runs through a spine, a bony protection, like our skull, and but unlike our skull, there's joints there, so it can flex back and forth, so we can bend over to tie our shoes. I'm grateful we have all that, and because of that spine, I'm grateful I have a profession, because I get to work with that spine and nervous system every day to help all those organs and tissues and glands and systems work better and work properly, not just better, but work the way that they were designed to. And I'm grateful for the mind that I was blessed with, and the mentors that I've had over the years that have helped shape that mind by asking questions and engaging in civil debate and being able to be shown different sides of an argument, so that we can understand, am I right, am I wrong? And it's okay to be wrong. It's just not okay to double down on being wrong. That there is science, and that 2 plus 2 does equal 4. It doesn't equal 3 or 5, it equals 4. And those concepts apply through all of the human experience. And Some of my mentors are people I've only known through books, like D.D. Palmer, the founder of Chiropractic, and one of the questions that drove him to 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 discover and develop and teach chiropractic was he wrote about it in his first book that he published in 1910, which was one person ailing and his associate who's eating at the same table and working at the same shop, and why is that person not sick? And what difference was there two persons where one caused one to get sick and have pneumonia or catarrh or typhoid or rheumatism, while his partner, similarly situated, was not? Why does that happen? How can two people sitting side by side, one person gets sick, the other person not? Better yet, if you Google Masha and Dasha, M-A-S-H-A and D-A-S-H-A, it is a very interesting story of some Siamese twins, that conjoined twins these days, that had separate spines, but they shared a pelvis, and they had separate digestive tracts, and one smoked, the other didn't, and one had high blood pressure, but the other didn't, even though their circulatory system was connected. One would get sick and the other wouldn't, and that is probably the most compelling argument for this, where we're at, and whether is it the germ that makes us sick, or is it the individual and their function, their physiology, their nervous system that allows them to be sick. And in light of today, some other good questions are, why is the death rate going down? We have more positive tests. I had to talk to someone yesterday who did test positive a few weeks ago, and she was upset. She previously had been more on board with this is something to worry about, but then she was upset because after her first test, she got 3 more times. 2 of those were positive. The last one wasn't. I was told that she was better. So she's like, in those tests, I'm three of those, because they're not individual cases. Those are tests. So if you test more, and if you test a person that's positive several times, and you have several positive tests, number. And this is going wrong. So why is that going on? But even though we have more positive tests, why is the death rate going down if this is, everything that we are being led to believe it is? Why is the overall death rate, all causes, going down? Right now, we're about at a 7-year low. So you would think that it would be worse if we have a pandemic on top of everything. Why are the stats being kept the way they are? The CDC has been called out for screwing up the stats. They're mixing in antibody tests with viral tests. They have botched that quite a bit, in my opinion. Not just my opinion, many people's opinion. But why do they keep the stats this way? I mean, you really have to dig to get these numbers. It's almost as if they're being hidden. But why haven't they corrected those calculation errors? Why are they still doing things this way? And even here in Wisconsin last week, I believe it was Dane County, got reported that they were reporting the positive tests, but not the negative tests. So, if you stick a swab up your nose, a test done, and you get the results, it's either positive or negative. I don't think it's that much more difficult to add in the negative test than it is the positive test, but they were only reporting the one. So why is that going on? But most important is now the mask mandates coming out. So a couple of weeks ago, the state of Oregon initially had their states, but they exempted people of color from wearing a mask. And if this is such a pandemic, there was such a backlash that they took that down. And so now everybody has to wear a mask. But if it was such a big deal, why would they do that? Why would they exempt people? Yesterday, our governor here, Governor Evers, put out a mask mandate. And who did he exempt? Legislators. Now, usually, the government is out for themselves first and foremost. We're on the low end of that totem pole. Anybody that holds an office in Madison or D.C. is getting preferential treatment. They have laws that are different than us. We see that they have a health care plan that is much different than the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare, if you don't know what the Affordable Care Act is. That's not right. They have separate rules for them and separate rules for us. And they exempted themselves. And now Governor Evers did the same thing. So using the sense that God gave us all, I hope that you start to ask some of these questions. And I think that that question should be asked. If this is so important, why did you exempt yourself and your coworkers from this mandate? I'd like an answer. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I'm grateful for all of you who are watching. Hey Cheryl, good to see you. I'm going to wave at you if I can do that. Hey, I waved, my first wave. I hope you enjoyed this. And as always, I am grateful and appreciate all the feedback and the comments. I love the messages I get from my closer friends on how they enjoy these, and I enjoy doing them. And I will see you all next Friday. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.